What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Night YouTube channel. In today's video, guys, I've got Monster Mashup from Galen's Games. This is a mint tin game, as you can see right here. It says that it is created by Chris Back, and the art was done by John DeCampos. So, guys, it's a pretty interesting little game here. It's got a little synopsis on the back of the tin. It says, "Specimen Breach. Mad scientists bring their grotesque creations to battle in the monster arena. Smash together a monster and outwit, outplay, or outbluff your opponent in this head-to-head battler." It's for 1 or 2 players for ages 10 and up, and it says that it takes about 10 to 20 minutes to play. So a pretty quick little game right here. Everything comes inside of this mint tin, as you can see right here, guys. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what is inside here. If I can get the lid off. That might be the hardest part of the game, is getting the lid off. Here we go. Cool. All right. So we'll go and take a look. So I was sent this copy of the game. I think this copy is kind of like making the rounds through different YouTubers who are doing, reviews and videos about the game. So I don't think I'll have this game for very long, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but maybe I'll be able to get my hands on the game at some point so I can do future playthroughs of the game. So yeah, but anyway, here we go, guys. Here is the contents of the game. We got this little accordion style 6-card rule book here. Pretty cool. And then it comes with some components. As you can see here, we got some dice and some little cubes. So we've got these 2 black dice here, 2 white dice. These are going to be what you roll whenever you're attacking. And we've got some yellow dice here. These are your boost dice. And then we got a couple green cubes for tracking your energy, a couple red cubes for tracking your health, and this black dice right here to track the level, or the arena level, which you'll see in just a little bit. And then inside, we've also got some cards. So we got a bunch of cards in here. We have this little deck of mini cards, which is basically like the heart and soul of the game. On each side of these cards will be either the front half or the back half to a monster, and you're going to combine these together to create all sort of different abominations that you're going to pit against one another and fight with. So as you can see, they are double-sided. Here we go. So you got a bunch of those right there. And then you've got some other little cards over here. Let's move these components out the way. You've got some tracking cards. So you got a couple of tracking cards here. It just has the logo and everything of the game on the back, as you can see here. Great artwork, by the way. The artwork is super, super cool. And yeah, so those are going to track your health and your energy. And it's got a little spot for your boost dice down this way. It's got one for each player, or if you're just playing by yourself, you're going to use one, and then there's going to be like sort of an AI opponent that you play against, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And then we've got this right here. This is going to be like the arena card to show how much damage is going to be dealt each turn in the arena. So it starts on camera 1, which does +1 damage, camera 2 does +2 damage, and camera 3 does +3 damage. And then we've got, let's see, we've got Dr. Entropy. So this is for the solo mode right here. So this is the card. This is the character that you're going to play against if you play solo mode. And then it comes with these 4 different Mad Scientist cards right here. You've got Dr. Chaos, Dr. Deranged, Dr. Love, and Dr. Death. And they each have a different artwork and different abilities that they do on the front and back of the cards there. Same thing with Dr. Entropy. He's got his normal side on the front, and then he's got his like different side on the back once you kill him, which we'll get into that in a little bit too. Cool. Or not kill him, but if you destroy his monster, which that'll make sense soon enough. And then we've got a couple of little like quick reference cards here for each player. And there's also a reference card that teaches you how to play against Dr. Entropy. So it tells you like what he's going to roll, when he rolls, and all this kind of stuff like that, sort of like his behaviors. So that's the contents of the game right there. And now I'll show you kind of like a quick little overview of the game. You know what? It might be even better too if I just read you the overview right here. It says, take on the role of a mad scientist with access to state-of-the-art lab, a state-of-the-art lab, and a host of fantastical creatures. Meld them together and take your creations to the arena where you will face off in a battle to the death. It's a Mint Tin Monster Mashup is 1 to 2 player head-to-head dice battle game where you smash together creatures and where you smash together creatures and then participate in a contest of tactics, luck, and deception. Cool stuff, guys. So we went over all the components. Typically, you're going to play this with 2 players, I think is kind of like the main idea when they were creating the game. I think it was probably intended to really shine playing with 2 players. But you can play it solo. I played a couple times solo, and it definitely does work that way too. So yeah, I'm gonna go over that. So what you're gonna want to do is, whether you're playing 2-player or if you're playing solo, it's basically the same setup. You're going to each have your tracker card like so. Let's move the dice too. Here, we'll take the black dice for us, and our opponent will have the white dice, and then we'll each get one of these yellow dice, which is the boost dice. And let's set the 10 off to the side over here. Cool. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to put the level tracker over here, right there. And then we're going to take Dr. Entropy, and we'll just set him up this way. And then we need to pick one of our characters as well. So I think I want to go with Dr. Chaos. Let's do Dr. Chaos. So they each have different abilities that they can do as well, which is pretty neat. We'll set the other cards off to the side for now, and we'll hang on to the Dr. Entropy card and one of these quick reference guides here. We'll set the other one off to the side. Okay, cool. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to set the health on 0, which is basically where this little heart symbol is on both of the cards. And then you're going to take the green cube, and you're going to set it on the 3 on your energy tracker to start out, like so. Cool. So then the first phase of the game is to make a monster. You're going to draw so that you have 3 cards, and you're going to combine 1 head and 1 back to create your monster, and then you're going to set their life to the life value and add energy equal to their intelligence. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck, and we're going to draw 3 cards. We'll go 1, 2, 3. These will be for us. And then the way it's going to work for Dr. Entropy is different. So when you're creating a monster for Dr. Entropy, it says Dr. Entropy generates his monster from the bottom of his monster stack. The first card is the front and the second card is the back. So he'll get 3 cards as well. And then you're going to do the bottom card is going to be the front. So he's going to have a Tyranno as the front. And then the next one is going to be the back. Shark. So he's created a Tyranno shark. That is actually terrifying. That is terrifying. We'll put the other cards over this way. And then for us, we get to choose which one we want to do. And of course, if you're playing the 2-player variant of the game, both players would choose which head and which tail they want to use. And you're looking for some different stats. So we can check out the stats over here on Dr. Entropy's monster. So you're going to have the health right here with the little heart. And then you're going to have this green cube is their intelligence. And then over here on the right, this is like an overkill mechanic, basically. If you deal, I'll get to that in a minute. You'll see soon enough. And then this one is their speed down here at the bottom. So wow, with the shark as the tail, you get 13 speed. That is insane. And then there's like an if this, then this happens mechanic. So if your opponent has, or if your energy is less than your opponent's, then both players re-roll all dice. So it's kind of cool. Like you get to mix and match these little abilities here. Like if this condition is met, then this happens. And it's kind of cool being able to mix and match those because you can get a bunch of different outcomes with them, which is really neat. And that's going to play into all of your decisions when deciding which of the pieces you want to put together to make a monster. So we're not going to put too much thought into it here for this one. We're just going to go ahead and do it. Also, this black cube is going to start on camera 1 over here on the arena tracker. It'll always start on the first camera right there. Yeah, so we're not going to put too much thought into it. Let's just do, we'll do a horned, is that what it is? Horned? Yeah, a horned pine. We'll do that. So we'll set this one over here to the side. We're not going to use it. Okay, cool. So now let's set up their health. So we've got 5 health here for the Tyranno shark. So you'd set this red cube on the 5. And then he's going to get +3 from his intelligence to his energy. So his energy is going to go from 3 up to 6. And then we're good there. And then for the horned pine, we're going to get 6 health. So we got the maximum amount of health. And then we're going to get +2 from intelligence to our energy. And our energy is going to go up to 5 like so. Cool. Okay. So we've made our monsters. Then you go into the roll phase. So each player is going to roll their dice. And you can do a couple different actions if you choose to do so. You can spend 1 of your energy to re-roll both dice. So if you don't like your result, you can spend an energy to re-roll your both dice. Or you can spend 2 energy to re-roll 1 die. So maybe you roll 1 and you actually like the outcome of one of the dice that you roll. You can spend 2 energy rather to re-roll just one of those dice. And then once per round, if you roll a 1, you gain an energy, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and roll first. I guess we'll go over Dr. Entropy's roll phase real quick too. So it says that Dr. Entropy will re-roll if he's losing by greater than 2. So if whatever we roll is greater than 2 compared to what he rolls, he'll always re-roll. So he'll spend energy in order to re-roll. And then he pays to re-roll any dice that are less than 4. And then it says he will only continue re-rolling if his energy is greater than 2. And Entropy will use his monster power, which is this right here, this if this, then this happens. That's the monster power. He'll only use his monster power at any point it is earned, and it is to his advantage. Okay, so you got to kind of play fair. You know what I mean? It's like you could cheat, but it's not really fun. If it's to his advantage, you have to make him do it. I think that's another reason why this game probably really shines as a 2-player game. I could definitely see this being super fun as a 2-player game. And you'll see why when we get into the next mechanic. So we're going to roll here during the roll phase. Okay, so I did roll a 1 right here. So that means that I'm going to gain 1 energy because it says that once per round, you gain an energy when you roll a 1. So we'll gain that 1 energy. We rolled 5. Now we're going to go ahead and let Dr. Entropy roll. He also rolled a 1, so he's going to gain an energy. And he rolled 4. So now it's up to us to decide, or actually, I'm sorry, it's actually up to him to decide since he rolled lower. It's up to him to decide if he wants to re-roll. Now, it does say for Dr. Entropy that he will re-roll if losing by greater than 2. He's not losing by greater than 2 because we rolled 5 and he rolled 4, so he's only losing by 1. So he's not going to choose to re-roll. So then it gets passed to us, and then we get to decide if we want to re-roll. If we choose to pass also, once both players have passed, then it moves on to the next phase, which is the boost phase. I think that I kind of want to re-roll 1 die. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 of my energy and re-roll 1 die. We're going to re-roll this 1. And I got a 4. So now I'm at 8. So now I have 8 to his 4. So now it says Entropy will re-roll if losing by greater than 2, which he is. So he's going to pay to re-roll any dice that are less than 4. So he's going to spend 1 energy to re-roll both of his dice. Because remember, it's 1 energy to re-roll 2 dice and 2 energy to re-roll just the 1 die. So he's going to re-roll both of these since they're both less than 4. Oh my god. Okay. He rolls the highest he can roll. So now it's back to us to decide if we want to re-roll. You know what? I think I'm just going to stay right here. I think I'm just going to stay at 8. I don't want to spend any more energy. Cool. So I'm going to pass. Dr. Entropy isn't greater than 2 below us, so he's also going to pass. So now it moves on to the boost phase. So for the boost phase, it says on the count of 3, this is the cool thing. This is why I think it's really cool to play this with 2 players. On the count of 3, both players reveal a hand signal. So there's a few different options you can do. Either you can do 0 to 5 fingers, which you would just put your hand in an O shape if it's 0 fingers, and then obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 to boost by that much. Or if you do a fist, that means that you are defending, and then if you pound on the table, that means that you're hitting the panic button. So here's what each of those things mean. So if you do 0 to 5 fingers as your symbol, that is a boost. That means that you're going to boost, and you're going to spend energy to increase your boost die. So however many, fingers you put out, let's say in this case, we want to do, maybe we don't want to spend any. I think I'm probably going to actually defend this round. So I'm not going to do that, but that's how that would work. Let's say that we wanted to do 4 because we had 4 energy and we wanted to add 4 to our roll. At the same time as our opponent, I would show 4 fingers, which means I would have to spend my 4 energy. And then I would take this yellow boost dice and I would set it right here on this little TV screen. And I'd put it on 4 to show that I'm boosting by 4. And that would get added to my roll. So I'd go up to 12 also. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to do the next action, which is defend, which would be a fist. You would show your fist. It says that you gain energy equal to your intelligence, and then you're going to lose the fight, but you would reduce the damage that you take by 1. So our intelligence on the horned pine that we have here is 2. So we're actually going to gain 2 energy, but we're automatically going to lose this battle. And then the last thing that's going to happen, or the last thing that you could do if you pound the table, you're hitting the panic button. Both players have to re-roll all of their dice and keep those results. And then it says, if the other player defends, you lose the battle. So typically when you defend, you're going to gain energy equal to the intelligence of your monster, and then you're going to reduce the damage that you take that round by 1. But if your opponent hits the panic button when you defend, you automatically beat them. So it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors sort of situation. And that's what I was saying earlier. I think this game probably really shines when you're playing with 2 people, because you don't know what the other player is going to do. When you're playing solo mode, it's basically just up to chance. And this is how it works for Dr. Entropy. So during the boost phase, the player decides first. So I'm deciding that I want to defend. So we gained our 2 energy because our intelligence is 2 on our monster. And then we're going to lose the fight potentially, but we're going to reduce the damage we take by 1. So, and then it says, then roll Entropy's boost die. So we're going to go ahead and roll Dr. Entropy's boost dice. He rolls a 2. If you roll a 1 through a 4, he boosts by that amount. So we did roll a 1 through a 4, so he's going to boost by that amount. If he rolls a 5 or a 6, you roll again, and something different happens on this table. By the way, it says if Entropy has greater than 1 energy. So he does have greater than 1 energy. So in that case, you roll on this table. If it's a 1 through 4, you boost by the amount that you roll. If it's a 5 or a 6, you roll again. So if we had rolled a 5 or a 6, we would roll again. And if we roll a 1 or a 2, he does the defend action, like we just did. If you roll a 3 or a 4, he does the maximum boost that he can possibly do. And if you roll a 5 or a 6, he hits the panic button. So there is still a chance that had we rolled a 5 or a 6 and then another 5 or a 6 and he hit the panic button, we actually would have won because we defended. But in this case, we rolled a 2, so he's going to boost by 2. If Dr. Entropy has less than 2 energy, so if he's got 1 or 0 energy, then you roll on this table over here. For a roll of a 1, he's going to boost by 0. If you roll a 2 through a 4, he defends. And if you roll a 5 or a 6, he hits the panic button. So in this case, he's going to boost by 2. So he's going to add his 2 to his 12. He goes up to 14. That beats our 8. That's not good. So now we're going to move to the damage phase. It says, players add their boost die total, if any, to their attack. So we just did that. And then it says the highest total number wins. And if it's tied, the monster with the highest speed wins. So it doesn't matter in this case because he is way higher than we are as far as his number there. He's got 14 to our 8. But let's say that we both had the same number. You would then compare their speeds. So 13 to our 3. And that's who would win in that case. It's a tiebreaker. So it says loser takes damage equal to the arena level. And if they lost by a number greater than or equal to the other player's special attack, they also take damage equal to the special attack. So I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. I didn't go into detail because I wanted to wait till we got to this point so it makes more sense for you. That's what this number is right here with the little like claw symbol next to it. That's their special attack stat. And in this case, since he's got 14 to our 8 and his special attack is 3, we lost by that amount. So we lost by more than that amount. So it says if they lost by a number greater than or equal to the other player's special attack, they also take damage equal to the special attack. So we did. We lost by greater than 3. So we're not only going to take the 1 damage from the arena level, we're also going to take 3 extra damage from the special attack, which would bump it up to 4 damage. But then it goes on to say, a player who defends loses automatically, except against the panic button. They gain energy equal to their intelligence, and then they reduce damage taken by 1. So we already did that. We already knew that we were going to lose. So we're going to get to reduce that 4 damage by 1 since we defended. So we're taking 3 damage. So our 6 HP is going to go down to 3 HP, just like that. Cool. So that was the damage phase. Then it moves into the reset phase. If both monsters survived, which they did, you advance the arena level and start a new roll phase. So now this little black cube is going to move onto camera number 2. And now there's going to be plus 2 damage. It says if a monster is destroyed, both players draw up to 3 cards and create new monsters for battle, starting with the winner. And the energy is maintained between battles. Also, when you destroy the opponent's monster, you take their head and you add that to a pile on your side of the table. And once you get 3 heads, you win the game. So you have to defeat 3 of the opponent's monsters in order to win the game. Simple enough. Cool. So both of our monsters are alive. So we're going to continue. It's going to reset and we're going to go back into the roll phase once again. So we're going to go ahead and roll. Set this off to the side. Okay, we rolled 8. That is pretty good. Oh, also, we need to keep in mind, I didn't do this during that first little bit there, but we need to keep in mind their special abilities. So for the Tyranno Shark, says if your energy is less than your opponent's, which it is not, we actually have equal right now, then both players re-roll all dice. And then for ours, for our Horned Pine, says if the opponent rolls doubles, we gain 1 energy. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've got 8. Oh, and you know what? When he rolled doubles earlier, we were supposed to gain an energy. So we're actually at 7, which means that your energy is less than your opponent's. So both players re-roll all dice. So he's going to roll. He might want to use that ability here. Okay, he rolled 6. He's going to use that ability and make us re-roll. So I'm going to have to go ahead and roll. Ooh, I got a 9. He actually helped me out this time. He's going to roll. And he rolled 3. He did roll a 1, so that means that he gains an energy. You can do that once per round. And as you can see, I've got 9 to his 3. And of course, it says that entropy will re-roll if losing by greater than 2, which he is. He's losing by 6 right now. So he's going to go ahead and pay to re-roll all dice that are less than 4. Okay, so both of his dice are less than 4, so he's going to spend 1 energy and re-roll. Oh my god, he rolled the exact same thing. I'm going to pass. I don't want to re-roll, so it's back to him. He's going to take the same action once again. He rolled 8 this time. It's going to come to me. I am going to pass. I don't want to re-roll. And now that he's not losing by greater than 2, he's not going to re-roll. He's going to pass, so it's going to move on to the boost phase. So I get to decide what I want to do here. I can either boost, I can defend, or I can hit the panic button. I don't want to hit the panic button. There's no reason to do that. I feel like the only reason to ever really do that is if your number is super, super low. Or maybe if you want to bluff, if you think that they're going to defend. Or I'm sorry, no, because if they defend and you hit the panic button, you automatically lose. So yeah, I guess if your number is really low, you might want to hit the panic button. Do I want to boost here? I think I do. I think I want to spend... I'm going to spend 3. So I'm going to go from 7 energy down to 4, and I'm going to boost for 3. And it's still cool playing the single player variant of this game, but once again, I keep harping on this, but I really think that it would probably be so fun to play it 2-player. I haven't actually played it 2-player. I just imagine this would be probably more fun 2-player because it has that sort of like that hidden information, sort of component to it. You don't know what your opponent is going to do, which I think is really, really cool. Okay, so now Dr. Entropy is going to go ahead and roll. Okay, so he's going to roll his boost die. And he rolled a 6. Okay, so it says if entropy has greater than 1 energy, which he does, we roll on this table. If you roll a 6, you roll again. Okay, so we roll again. And he rolled a 2. He's going to defend. Interesting. Okay, so he's actually going to choose to defend, which means he's going to gain energy equal to his intelligence. His monster's intelligence is 3, so he's going to gain 3 and go up to 8, and you can never exceed 8. He's got maximum energy right now. You can never go above your maximum health or energy of 6 health and 8 energy. And then he's going to automatically lose the battle, and he's going to reduce his damage that he takes by 1. Okay, cool. So we're going to add our 3 to our 9. So our boost adds to our regular roll here, and we go up to 12, and Dr. Entropy rolled an 8. So we have beaten him by 4, and our special attack, we just need to win by 1 or more, and we have done that. So we're going to add our special attack of 1, pretty low, to the plus 2 damage since we're on camera 2 over here in the arena for a maximum of, or a total rather, of 3 damage. And since Dr. Entropy used defend, he's going to take 1 less damage, and he's going to go down to 3, like so. So he's going to take 2 damage. Cool. Okay, we're going to finish this out. We'll just finish out this one little fight with these guys. I'm not going to go through the whole playthrough, but I think you guys pretty much get it by now. So let's do at least another round or so here. And we're going to go ahead and roll. This is pretty much it. You guys have pretty much seen the game in action. This is the game. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this too, guys. There are abilities that each of these characters have. So I totally forgot about this. I apologize. So Dr. Chaos has once per round, you can spend 1 HP, so you can reduce your HP by 1, or your monster's HP to gain 1 energy. So you can move this down by 1 and then gain an energy once per round. And then for Dr. Entropy, it says once per round, if you roll greater than 10, Entropy gains 1, he gains 1 energy. So if we roll with these dice greater than 10, he's going to gain an energy. And then what would happen too is if your monster dies, you flip this card over. So let's say that Entropy destroys our he kills our monster. He would get the head of our monster toward his 3 monster heads to win the game. And then our monster dies. So we would flip our guy over, and then we actually get like a powered up version. So it's sort of like a little like comeback mechanic, I guess. Like if your monster gets knocked out, you get like a power boost. So then we would have once per round, we could spend 1 health on our monster to flip one of our dice. So like if we rolled a 1, we could flip it over to a 6. So you could do that once per round. And then whenever you kill your opponent's monster, you flip the card back over. And then they would flip theirs over. So it kind of keeps things balanced, which I think is pretty neat. And you get like, 2 different abilities, a normal ability and then like a boosted, strengthened form of that ability when you flip your card over. And it works the same for Dr. Entropy. If his monster dies, you flip him over to this side. And then when he kills your monster, you flip it back over to this side like that. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do another round real quick here. We're going to roll. We rolled 7. We rolled a 1. So that means that we're going to gain an energy. We've done that pretty much every round, which is crazy. Then Dr. Entropy is going to go. He also rolls a 1. That's insane. Oh, but he's already at 8. So he's at 6. So he's lower than us. So he's going to get to decide if he wants to re-roll. I think I might have skipped that on the last round, but yeah, it's the player that has the lower roll gets to choose first. So he's got 6 to our 7. So he's not losing by greater than 2. So he's actually going to pass. He's not going to re-roll. I think I want to spend 2 energy and re-roll 1 die. So we're going to go from 5 down to 3, and we're going to re-roll this 1 and see what we get here. We got a 2. Okay, it's a little bit of an upgrade. Now, our opponent did not roll double, so we don't get our special ability, and his energy is not less than ours, so he's not going to get his special ability for his Tyranno Shark. That is so cool, man. Tyranno Shark. That is awesome. If anything, his monster is way cooler than ours, I will say. Ours is weird, man. A horned pine. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. What's on the back side of this? A sloth. Oh, it's a horned sloth. Interesting. But in this case, it's a horned pine. Okay, cool. So now we're going to move on to the boost phase. I'm at 8. He's at 6. And remember, it says on here that Entropy will reroll if losing by greater than 2. And he's not. He's losing by exactly 2. It's got to be greater than 2. So he's going to pass. I'm going to pass now. And we're going to move on to the boost phase. So I got to decide what I want to do here. I think I want to just boost. Yeah, I think I'm going to spend 3 and just boost, guys. We're going to boost up to 3. Like so. And then Entropy is going to roll. Let's see what he does for his boost action. He rolls a 3. So he's got greater than 1 energy. So a 1 to a 4, you boost that amount. So he's going to boost by 3 as well. Cool. I'm glad I spent 3. I was actually contemplating changing my mind and spending less. I'm glad I did it. So now we're going to add our boost dice to this total. So we've got 8 plus 3 is 11. And he's got 3 plus 6 is 9. So we win. We got a higher result. And we have a higher result by 2, which is equal to or greater than our special attack right there. So we're going to deal 1. And we were supposed to move this. We were supposed to move that to camera 3. So we're going to deal 1 plus 3 is 4 damage to Dr. Entropy's monster. And that brings its health from 3 down to 0. And we have defeated his monster. So we would get his head as a trophy. And if we get 2 more heads, we win the game because you need 3 to win the game. And then since his monster died, you would flip this over to the other side. And now you'd be fighting Dr. Entropy's like buffed side right here with his new ability, which says once per round, if you roll greater than 10, Entropy gains 1 energy and does 1 damage. So it's just a buffed version of his normal ability there. So there it is. So then you would take these cards. The horned pine was victorious in taking down Dr. Entropy's enemy there, the Tyranno Shark. So we would set those over here. I don't know if you set them in a discard pile. I don't think it necessarily specifies, but if you wanted to, you could set them in a discard pile. I'd probably recommend that. And then you could shuffle up the rest of the cards. And you would get dealt 3 cards for yourself. And then you would deal 3 for Dr. Entropy. And you would choose the bottom 2. So the first one's going to be the head. The next one's going to be the body. There's a unicorn. That's cool. So he's got a Megadoo? What is this? Yeah, a Megadoo. Whatever the heck that is, that's what he's got, a Megadoo. And then we would choose ours. So we'd say, I don't know, we would pick maybe this and this. So we'd have a Minoantula. It's like a Minotaur and a Tarantula combined, a Minoantula. And then, yeah, you would set up the health. So he would have 5 health. The energy carries over. You'd add 3 to it, but he's already maxed out. We would have 5 health for this monster. And then we would add his intelligence of 3. So we would go from 1 up to 4. And that's it. And then you would continue playing the game just like the previous rounds until one of the players has 3 heads, in which case you win the game once you get to the 3 heads. And that is it, guys. That is Monster Mashup. Very, very neat little mint tin game right here. Very, very thematic, super thematic, really, really cool theme, really solid mechanics. And once again, I really think this game would shine with 2 players. So if you do pick up this game and you have a buddy, man, whip this out and, you know, and play a couple games if you're like in between, you know, I don't know, if you're having a D&D session or something, you know, you could just whip this out and play a round or 2. It's only going to take maybe 10, 20 minutes. Or you just whip it out and play it solo player against Dr. Entropy. So there it is, guys. Once again, this is by Galen's Games. I actually have a few other games that were sent to me, and I'm going to go over those as well. It's more Galen's Games mint tin games, so look out for those in the future. I feel like I was maybe most excited about Monster Mashup out of the 4 that I saw, but who knows? Maybe there's another one in there that's going to even outshine this one. We'll see soon enough. But there it is, guys. Monster Mashup by Galen's Games. This looks interesting to you. Be sure to go ahead and check out the link down below, and you can grab your copy of Monster Mashup. And if you like the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up like button, click the red subscribe button, and click the bell to stay notified every time I upload brand new videos, and I have plenty more videos coming very, very soon. So there it is, guys. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. Love all you guys to death, and I'll be back with more soon. And until then, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.